Okay, it's time now for a look at what's been grabbing the headlines here in France with Catherine Viette. Catherine, all eyes are turning to the Euro 2016 football tournament.
That's right. That's all the French press is talking about. And aujourd'hui, en France, today is asking, are we finally going to be able to have some fun? Because it's nothing but problems recently. Obviously, the floods, the strikes, an ongoing state of emergency. And the paper's asking that with just 4 days to go before matches start, is France ready to have its head in the game? The paper's warning that the whole world is watching and judging France's ability to carry out and organize a major tournament like this. And it also reminds that in 15 months, Paris will know if its bid for the 2024 Olympics is successful. So a lot riding on this tournament. Something also echoed in the paper's editorial cartoon. And the cartoon shows a somewhat nervous prime minister being briefed by an aide who says, well, in theory, the different social movements, those that have been on strike, will be working together when the Euro 2016 kicks off. And the head of the CGT, that's France's most hardline union that's really been behind and supporting these ongoing strikes, asks, ain't life grand?
And that's a view that's also shared by L'Opinion.
Yes, indeed. Now, their paper, and L'Opinion, this is sort of a pro-biz paper, their headline says it all. Euro 2016, France must not screw this up. The paper says that Euro 2016 can save the tourist season and that the country's appeal is now what's at stake. And the paper, too, also has an editorial cartoon. And this one, it's the bosses from Air France and the state train group SNCF, and they're standing as the prime minister says, get everything settled before the start of the games. It's out of the question for players to ride in Macron coach buses. And that's a dig at the economy minister, Emmanuel Macron, who has been championing the expansion of coach buses for cheaper travel within France instead of taking trains and planes.
And of course, Catherine, the French press is also saying that the success of these Euro 2016 football games is equally important for the French president's chances of re-election.
That's indeed right. As you probably know, François Hollande's poll numbers are still very, very, very low. And Le Parisien says that the president is betting big with the Euro matches. So in the article that goes on, they're using sporting metaphors. And the paper says that the president is issuing a yellow card to those on strike, with Hollande saying that it would be incomprehensible if transport strikes disrupted the games. And the paper also has a little cartoon showing Hollande dressed as a coach, and he's pointing to his team there, so all his members, to make sure that these games do go smoothly. So he's got his strikers, his midfield, the defenders, and the goalie.
But Catherine, the Huffington Post has a very different take on this.
Right. The Huffington Post is saying that, you know what, Hollande really shouldn't rely or count too much on the matches as a way to regain his falling popularity. The website reporting there that for the majority of French people, that even if France wins, this will have no real impact on his popularity.
And moving on, Hollande is facing divisions within the left as well.
That's right. So he's trying to sort of fend off some challengers to his re-election campaign. Now, Libération here is reporting that Pierre Laurent, and he's the national secretary of the Communist Party, he was just re-elected by a landslide, but he's still kind of trying to rally his troops. But meanwhile, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who's the founder of the Left Party, is already campaigning hard for the presidency. And in Le Figaro, the paper there reporting that Mélenchon has launched an anti-Hollande campaign, says that Mélenchon, which the paper calls the candidate of rebellious France, has gathered a group of supporters on Sunday for a show of force against Hollande, the little man who leads us and who has lied to us. That's a direct quote, Mélenchon talking about Hollande there.
Okay, Catherine, let's finish with some good news. For one, Serbian tennis player Novak Djokovic, who won, obviously, the French Men's Tennis Open this Sunday.
That's right. Despite all the wet weather and the delays and all of that, he managed to come on and get his Grand Slam title. He's been dying to do this. What's really interesting about this is that with this win, it makes him only the third man in history to hold all 4 Grand Slam titles at the same time. That's something that not even Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal has been able to do.
Okay, Catherine, thank you very much for that spin through the French press this morning. We're going to take a very quick break right now, but there's more world news and headlines coming up in just a few minutes' time, as well, of course, as our focus report, which looks at how one law in Italy has changed witness protection in the fight against the mafia. Do stay with us. Live from Paris continues.